That transformation was wild. The first time I went to the doctor after COVID, I was already down to 164.5 pounds. If I had to estimate where I'd started, I'd probably guess about 180, which is the heaviest I had ever been. We all know the VRChat stereotype, right? You make the assumption that people hide in the headset because they can't handle real life. But what if I told you that for me, and for a lot of other people, VR wasn't really an escape at all? It was the catalyst that completely changed my life, mentally, physically, creatively, and it put me on a path that I genuinely thought never would be possible for me until it actually happened. When I was growing up, I was always super active. I danced, I did color guard, I sang, I did all of it. I was so committed to dance that I literally gave up my spot at a 4-year university, went back to community college just to do the major that I wanted, and I spent 4 years training 8 hours a day in over 10 different dance styles. So when I graduated with my AA in 2020 and still didn't get into any of the dance programs that I auditioned for, that absolutely shattered me. Everything I had built my identity around just kind of collapsed. I started drinking more, I stopped moving, I sat and played video games for days at a time because I never had to watch what I ate before. The weight slowly, then very quickly started piling on. One night, my friend and I were bored and we hopped on the desktop version of VRChat. We ended up in a random group of people who were actually in VR, and all of a sudden, one of the girls stands up and starts shaking her hips in front of the mirror, and I was like, hold on, are you doing that? Like, is that your body? And she goes, yeah, I'm in full body right now, and I was like, whoa. It did not click for me that people had full body tracking in a video game. So of course I had to ask, so wait, like people dance on here? And she just casually goes, yeah, there's full on clubs. And at that point I was like, we need to see one like yesterday, like right now. She invited me literally the next night to a club called Demonic Dragons. Rest in peace. That club is gone now. It doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. I went, and let me tell you, I had the time of my life. I was getting lap dances from men, from women. People took me on stage and I was just this little desktop sitting person. It was great. It was great. And the whole time, this little voice in my head was like, I need this. Like, I need this. This is how I'm going to rebuild my confidence so that I can chase the dance career that I've always wanted. So I saved up for 2 weeks from my business, bought an entire secondhand VR setup, and within 1 hour of setting up my full body, auditioned for my first club and got in. Shout out to Loading Sensations, my first VR dance home. By the next month, I had a full rotation of clubs, and I was dancing for more than 2 hours a day. If you've made it this far, comment if you've been to any of those clubs that I mentioned before or if you've seen me around. And don't forget to like, subscribe so that more people can find videos like this, yeah? Sick. I was never weighed at the start of my VR dance journey, but if you saw that thumbnail, that transformation was wild. The first time I went to the doctor after COVID in 2021, I was already down to 164.5 pounds. If I had to estimate where I'd started, I'd probably guess about 180, which is the heaviest I had ever been. Ma'am. Ma'am. Sit nicely. Sit nicely. There. No. Sit nice. No? Okay. And within about a year and a half, I was back down to my original weight, around 137 to 140, which is where I'm at now. Even after I reached my starting weight again, things didn't just go back to normal. They got better. I slowly started to go back to the gym whenever my schedule allowed, and I also committed to eating cleaner. Over the last year and a half, my muscle to fat ratio has shifted in a way that I thought I would never see again. And yes, I never stopped dancing in VR. Not because I needed an escape, but because it has changed my life, and I see the potential it has to change so many more. VR dance gave me the confidence to try again in the real world. In 2022, I auditioned for my first hip hop team. By 2023, I was competing with the competition team of that group. In 2024, I worked with incredible mentors and even got signed to an agency. And in 2025, I stepped into my power, not just as a dancer, but as a leader, someone who understands the impact, the culture, and the future of VR dance and streaming as it continues to grow. Going into 2026, I want to lead with love, leave a positive mark on the space, and keep showing what's possible when you mix creativity, movement, and confidence, both online and off. I can't wait to see what the future holds, and I'm so grateful that you're here with me. If this video resonated with you in any way, please like, share, subscribe, all the things, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you truly. Bye.